Please join me in giving Toni Pitchford a warm welcome.
My role is to help you understand how easy we've tried to make it to find the data, to talk about what it is that you can use the data for. But before I do that, I need to interject something about the 2020 decennial coming up. It is imperative that every single person within our communities participate, because that is where the federal dollars into the city comes from. And with an accurate count, you get your fair share of dollars that go into the communities to help you with your organizations when you put in for grants, to help with the economic development of the community, to help with the development of a strong law enforcement base. So I urge everyone to talk to their constituents, their friends, their relatives, their loved ones, people they don't like, and talk to them about participating. Now, this is going to be the first year that we're going to do it by computer. So hopefully we will make it easier for people to do it. And I think the problem is that people do not understand the value of it. But the census helps us no matter what we do. If we look to build a new school, they're looking at how many children at the Department of Education, how many children are in this city or in this area. So one of the things that I love to do, and I'm going to refresh, is to just remind you that we will be coming out. You will be contacted by a a partnership specialist who is strictly for your 2020 decennial census. Please work with him or her when they call upon you, because their only goal is to make sure that Wichita, that the state of Kansas, gets the money that you deserve. Because if I can do nothing else, I can promise you that if you don't want your money, somebody else will take it. They will feel very honored that you give it to them. So, I know that economic development is something that is key. So I want to talk to you about Census Business Builder. When we talk about economic development, the one thing that I look at with entrepreneurs is the fact that when you're putting a business plan together, doesn't it make sense to know what other businesses are like yours in that area? Why would you put a hamburger spot on a street that already has five of them there? Small businesses come in and go out at a quick pace. I'd say an average 2 years to get them into the system and then lose their money and come out again. That's because we don't have the right data. We don't put the right information together. Members of SCORE dealing with SBA assist entrepreneurs, whether they are new or they are existing. Our data, what we have, we're looking to help you get the best data available. So what I want to do, because our time is limited, I can't give you a full 3 hour. Someone said, oh my goodness, I'm glad I heard you. I am going to do what I call my quick down and dirty with the Census Bureau. The first thing I want you to know is that I am yours. Here's my phone number, that's my email. Feel free to call upon me for anything that you need relating to data. I don't have no money, y'all, so you can't ask for a loan. But feel free to call upon me. I am in travel a lot, but I will always respond to you. If you email me, I'm always looking at it when I get on the plane or get off the plane, and I will always call you back. So don't hesitate to call on me. We developed the Census Builder to help people looking for data within their field of expertise. So the first thing I want to do is I want to click on it and I want to show you just how easy it is to get into it. So let's just say we're looking for restaurants. The first thing we do is we go into www.census.gov. We go into the data tools and apps, and we go to the Census Builder And this is the first page that you're going to see. Just as an example, if we choose food services, we can decide what we want to look at. Maybe you're trying to entice an Olive Garden in, or maybe a Cheesecake Factory, or a Red Lobster. So I'm just going to set my sights on restaurants. And I'm going to enter in the city of Wichita. Once I start typing, you see that it will pull up several names, but I'm going to hit for the city. I asked it to go to the map. And this is what you'll see. This is the area here. This is Wichita. And you can see that it will identify to you. I got a lot of cords up here, y'all. I can tell you that our population for the city is 300. Come over. I'm sorry, I talk to myself, y'all. Sometimes it's the best conversation I have.
Computers do that.
So I can tell you that the median income, this is not working for us. I'll create the report and we can see, we can get a better view of what I'm trying to tell you. When you go in, if you go on the map, you can identify out how many people are in the city. You can take a look at their median income. You can see what it is that they are. Oh, my screen is not going to. With their median income. So right now I know that 388,033 is the population, and that's as of 2016 ACS estimate. We know that you have your highest percentage is 18 and over with 76.24% white. The median household income within the city. You can see the percentage of educational attainment, your average household size, and I honestly cannot tell you what a 0.53 person looks like, but it averaged statistically out to 2.53. You have a 17.1% poverty rate within the city. I can tell you that there is a 0.07% using public transportation. 10.3% of your population is foreign born, and 11.3% of your community are speaking Spanish at home. I can tell you that you have a total of 90,000 housing units. I can tell you that renter occupied is at 60,000 plus. Single family, your homeowner ratio is at 59.7. So if you were looking to bring a restaurant in, you would want to bring it into the area because people are stable here. They are invested within the community. And that's what you want when you're opening up, because we're looking at restaurants, a restaurant. Your vacancy rate is only 10.3, but your median home value is $120,000 with the selected monthly cost of about $800+, and the median year of housings built here was in 1971. This is the kind of data that you can use. Of course, we give you your NAICS code that you can use when you're going and writing up a plan. And I can tell you that there are 306 restaurants within the city of Wichita. I can tell you that the employment of employers is approximately 8,268 employees. I can tell you the annual payroll of those employees in the thousands is $105,484. So that's $1,500,000. Each restaurant averages about 27 employees. I can tell you the annual payroll for that employee. And the fact that each restaurant averages about $1,200 and a little bit better in patrons. I can tell you that the total revenue, I can tell you what the average revenue per employer, how much each employee brings into that business. So you can get a feel for what it is, how your money is going to be coming into your pockets. That's the best way to put it. And the average revenue of dollars is about $2.92. Now, we do honor your privacy, and something I want to mention is that if we have data where your business or your information can be identified, we will not publish those statistics. We will not put it there. We honor the fact and take great deal of pride, actually, with the idea that we do not share information. We do not give your information or make it available where people can find it. But this is something that I really like this, y'all. How do people spend their money in Wichita? How do you spend your money after all that hard work? So on an average, you expend about $58,000 a year. Now, you can thank Anheuser-Busch for the first three, okay? They were very adamant when they called, when we asked, is there something you see that you don't see that you want? They were very adamant. So here we go. On alcoholic beverages, we average about $472 a year. If you consume it at home, you're spending about $289. If you are drinking it at home, you're averaging about $84. If you consume wine away from home, it's about $41 a year. Household apparel, it's about $1,800, and it's broken down. Men's apparel is $361, but I'm looking at the men in this room, and I think y'all spend a lot more. Women's apparel, and I have to tell you, this is from my book of knowledge, Toni, chapter 1. Women's apparel is $620 a year. I think somebody's husband was sitting there when they did that. I think the men in the room agree. Children's apparel is $298 a year is what you're averaging. Boys' apparel, $97. Girls, $111. Take a look at what you spend on footwear. But this is something that's really interesting. For dining out away from home, we average about $2,800 a year. We spend approximately $313 a year on breakfast, $878 a year on lunch, and $1,300+ on dinner on an average. Household education, we spend about $1,200 on our education, but we spend about $2,600 on entertainment and recreation. This is the kind of data that you can get from us. This is the data that you can pull up. Membership fees average about $170. And for those of you on dating services, you average about 79 cents. Okay. Pet food, you're averaging about $200, and on pet services, about $51. But the food that you consume at home averages for you about $4,300 a year. The bakery products is looking at $573, dairy $458, fruit and vegetables $836, and then we get to the good part if you're not a vegetarian. Meat, poultry, fish, and eggs, $993 a year. Non-alcoholic beverages, iced tea, bottled water, $415 a year. But on snacks and food products that we consume at home, it's about almost $1,500, $1,496. That's just on snacks. That's a lot of Lay's potato chip, y'all. Healthcare, we average about $4,600. Then if we take a look at that, beyond that, we're looking at medical services averaging about $874. Non-prescription drugs, $107. On household services, that's $1,500. I'm thinking it's probably a little bit more, but statistically, based on the numbers we have, that's what we get. Care for the elderly and the handicapped, it's $31.74. You can see on lawn and garden services, we spend over $300. Housekeeping, PC repair, household on housing, per household. Home improvements, we average about $2,000 a year. And on utilities, fuel, public services, we are looking at about $4,300. But what do we spend on water? Life, health insurance, pension, and Social Security. We're averaging about $6,000 there. Personal care products, hair care products, I don't think that's right, but who am I? That's one trip to Walmart. I'm sorry. Household personal care products, $272. But look what we spend on local transportation, about $7,000 a year. For me, that says that answering the data, the surveys that we present, is imperative, because we want our streets to be safe to travel on. And if we're spending over $7,000 a year average on local transportation, you want those roads to be good. Vehicle maintenance and repair, household, what we spend on travel, airline fees. I said this yesterday, I think this will get you to St. Louis one way, 410, okay. Truck rentals, auto rentals, lodging on trips, food and drink with tips, those are your tips, the $405, and of course, entertainment. This is data that you can use. You can find this, and you can go back, and you can look in any of those segments that we have. I wanted to go back, and I want to remind you, you find this data, you can find the data for construction, whether you're doing roofing, concrete, tile. If you're doing personal professional services, you have a travel agency, you have a beauty salon, you have a consulting firm, this data is available for you, and you can use it, and we want you to use it. Fact Finder is where we get data in case you're looking to do something special. You need to know, and I'm going to pick on my elected officials, so please don't get mad at me. I'm going to try to talk to you later. But you want to know what's going on in your district. You want to know, what is the population in my district? What's the breakdown? What's the poverty level? What do I need to know in order to help my constituents? And I know you want that information because you are the solid pillars of the community. And the people trust you by putting you in office to do that. So our data is here to help you do that. And I'm really hoping, this is a plug for me, y'all, that you'll let me come and train your staff. I'm just saying. I'm old school, y'all, and what you see is what you get, so please. And yes, for the young people in here that are looking and wondering, I do have a great-granddaughter who asked me if I remember when they had horses for cars. My answer was yes, I do. What's your point? So, if we go into www.census.gov and we go into data tools and apps, American Fact Finder is what you're going to be able to use. Now, this is what I call my down and dirty. I go into community facts, and I'm just gonna, do you want me to find something by county or zip code? I'll go county. Nope. SC. There we go. Once you start typing, you should get a drop down. But if I just hit on Sedgwick County and hit go, this is what you're going to get. This is your population as of 2010. This is your estimated population as of 2017. This is your population as of 2016. You are growing. Any bullet that you see on any one of these tabs is a whole set of information. It's a whole table of data. So I'm going to click on the general population housing characteristics for Sedgwick County. So it's basing it on the fact of approximately 498,000. But you can see it's broken down by age. Is that visible? Am I in the way? Too small to see? Let's see if I can. Okay, so it goes by age. You can see the median age for Sedgwick County is 34.2. You can see your population, 62 and over, 65 and over, male population, female population. But you can also take a look at the racial breakdown to help you know if you need to find some way to do bilinguals in your area. You can see your Hispanic population. You can see the relationships in the house. If they're householders, if they're spouses, children, if they're other relatives. You know, we live by the theory of villages. We help our relatives no matter where they are and if they need us. We have unmarried partners, and we have the information on group quarters, whether they are non-institutionalized or institutionalized. Household type. Is it a husband with a wife and family? This is data when you're looking to put something together and you know exactly, or maybe you don't know exactly what it is that you're looking for. This is data that you can utilize. Again, I say to you that for every single bullet that is on the community fact, and I'm going to go back to the community facts, that is a whole different set of data available to you. So if I went and we just looked at, that was only in population, age, education. You can see we can do educational attainment, school enrollment. You can see where your school enrollment is. There might be an area that needs a new school. You want to know what this data looks like. How about housing? You want to see what the financial characteristics of a housing units are. If I click on that, that's a whole set of data for you. On the left-hand side here, you can compare. You can go all the way back to 2009 on this page alone, all the way up to 2016, and you can take a look. You can see the household income in the past 12 months. You can see if it's owner-occupied or if it's renter-occupied. You can take a look at the housing cost, percentage of household income. There is data. We have data that you can utilize for whatever it is that you're looking for. So I'm going to do this. Let's see. We can give you information on local government and counties, state and local government employment and payroll. We talked about the housing. Average median income for the county is over $51,000. You have 43,000 in the county of foreign born. Your population is 15%. And one of the things near and dear to me is you have over 33,000 veterans within the county. Now, remember what I said, that any of these bullets will give you a totally new data set. But if you just want something really quick that you can use, you can always hit select all, and you will get a page with all of the basic numbers. It won't give you the details that you can if you click on a data set, but it will give you that information that you're looking for. If I go into guided search, we can do something, and I want to start from the beginning so you can see it. If I go into guided search, it's just that. It will guide you through the process. We will get started. It'll ask you if you're looking for something special. I'm just looking for information about people. I hit next. It's going to ask you, what are you looking for? Can someone give me something that we might be interested in here? I'm Baptist, y'all. Don't make me talk to the lights.
How many people over the age of 100 live in Sedgwick County?
Well, let's look at basic count and estimates. I'm going to do population total. If you take a look, you'll see that for that data, there's over 1,200 data sets. So that's the basic count. Now that I've got that, I'm just going to hit next and identify out what I'm interested in. So my geographic location. Am I interested in the county or just the city or?
We're county folks.
Okay. So I'm going to do the county. I'm going to pick my state. Now, if I wanted to, I could pull up every solitary county in the state. I could pull it up. Or I can just go and find Sedgwick. This is the only time that you will have to do an extra step. You add it to your selection. Now you see we have a total of 299 data sets available. I'll hit next. I'm not looking for any particular race. I'm going to hit next. This is the data that you're going to be able to utilize. And where you see the stars, this is the data that is the most current, the newest data. And actually, we just dropped our 2016 ACS, so it covers 2012 to 2016. So when I do that, I'm just going to do the profile of housing care. Oh, I don't want 2010. Go back. I'm just going to do demographics and housing estimates. Again, you can go all the way back to 2010 on this, on the left-hand side, if you see that. And here you can see. So just 85 and over, we know we have over 8,000 people. We will always give you the margin of error because we're going from 2012 to 2016. So there is going to be some overlap of numbers. So statistically, we try to show you that we do have a margin of error. You see 65 and over broken down by male and female. Some of you may be interested in the voting age information. You all did only vote once today, right? Just checking. You can also go into advanced. You can do advanced searches and you can enter, let's say you're not really sure what you're looking for. Let me see. We're going to clear this out. We want something in, how about poverty? So we're going to do it, and grandparents living with their children. I'm going to choose Sedgwick County. I'm going to hit go. This is under the advanced search. I don't need this. Come out. Okay. So, and what we're looking for, this is the responsibility. What's happening here, this should be longer. This is the file that we're looking at now, and this is what we're actually looking at. Poverty status in the past 12 months for grandparents living with their own grandchildren under 18 by responsibility for being responsible for the grandchildren and the age of the grandparent. So this is from 2011 to 2013. It's the most updated information we have. And I guess that's a good choice because that number is consistently growing nowadays. grandparents are taking more of an initiative with grandchildren. So you can see that in Sedgwick County, there's about 10,000 who are grandparents responsible for their own grandchildren. They're averaging 30 to 59 or 60 and over. So for those of us 60 and over, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? I'm slipping, y'all. 60 and over, you see that number. About 1,100 people. And for grandparents not responsible for their own grandchildren, maybe they adopted grandchildren, there's about 5,000 of those. There is basically data for anything that you're looking for within the Census Bureau. And we collect data, but we don't collect just every 10 years. We collect data by the current population survey. Every month you hear about the unemployment rate. That's what we do. Any week with the 19th, we are out there collecting data. You hear about the unemployment rate, when you hear about housing stock, economic data, you hear about the insured, the uninsured. How about crime? National Crime Victimization Survey. We do that. Whether you have reported it to the police or not, we collect that data for the Department of Justice. How about the Center for Disease Control, where we go to the hospitals and the doctor's office to see what people are complaining about and what doctors are prescribing, and to see if there is something going on that has not been identified, and maybe we need to get the pharmaceuticals to start paying attention, like the fact that tuberculosis was making a comeback. How about we look at the housing? How about we look at the survey of income program participation or consumer expenditures, so I can tell you how much you spend on the dating sites? There is so much information that is available to you. And if you need me, I know that I have 45 minutes. I want to take questions. I want you to ask me something, and I want to find the data that you might need at this point, because I can do this for 5 minutes or 8 hours. So, yes, I scare myself sometimes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, okay.
Yeah, waiting for the mic here.
Oh.
Well, okay, since you pointed me out,
Like it is.
could you tell me?
Ta-da!
Could you tell me how you determine how many people are here illegally? You gave a population of Sedgwick County. Does that include illegals?
When we collect our data, we ask people, when the decennial is taken, that is currently not a question on the decennial ballot. The question we ask is if they are a citizen, if they're naturalized, if they are here on a visa. But we do not ask them if they are illegal at this point. So.
Corresponding with that, I know you can't comment about the he said, she said around the secretary, but one of the things that's getting thrown around in the media is that there wasn't testing done with adding the citizenship question, and the media and a lot of folks on the left say that it'll depress turnout. The secretary says it won't. Well, wouldn't the reasons, I figured maybe you can speak to this since you deal with the data. No? Okay, I was just curious about testing. Okay, all right.
No, go ahead, I'm sorry, but there are some questions that I cannot answer because I'm not at that level. I don't have that clearance.
I asked if there have been testing, and could there be testing, or will there be testing, so that that's not even a part of the talking point, so that we can show that adding that question is important before the census gets started?
I do not know of that question. I do know that we have been testing the 2020 decennial, and it has been going on, but I don't know if that was one of the questions. And so, yes, sir.
I've got two questions. First one is, I thought that the census people worked under the Bureau of Commerce.
We are.
You're telling me that you do work for the DOJ?
No. We are the Statistical Bureau for the country, and other government agencies hire us to collect data for them. We are under the umbrella of the Department of Commerce, and we are the division of the Bureau of the Census.
Okay.
But they
DOJ
basically,
pay you, or they pay the Department of Commerce?
well, they ask the census to collect their information. We collect it for them.
The Department of Commerce?
Yes.
And then they pass it on to DOJ?
To the Bureau of the
Question.
Census,
You
yes.
said that the median expenditures were 58,000 and the median income was 51. I wonder where I got mixed up on that.
Well, that's household. So,
58,000 was household?
mhm,
And the income was individual?
individual.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir. Oh, okay.
You don't produce the GDP numbers for the metropolitan area, that's your sister bureau, the Bureau of Economic Analysis. You don't produce the employment numbers, that's the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but I suspect that you provide inputs into them. The trend for Wichita for GDP through 2016 showed us either stagnant or declining. There aren't many years there to come up with a trend. The 2016 number then got revised upward by 6%, so we actually had an upward trend through there, although the 2017 number is down, although I'm willing to bet any amount of money that's going to be upwardly revised. What data do you guys and ladies provide to Bureau of Economic Analysis and the Bureau of Labor Statistics to support those two key statistics that fit most of the headlines? Local GDP and employment.
What is going right now, we're in the process of our economic census, where we can help with those numbers. So the economic census is being done now. It's being done on computer. We also do the small business owner, which is part of economics. So we do quite a few surveys, but the economic census is something we do every 5 years. So the numbers, it's not, you won't get that change every year. It's going to be a 5-year wait.
Apparently, I've not been at home when the census taker comes, because I'm amazed at all these things you're gathering. Is all just from that census that's when it's taken by household?
The American Community Survey, which is what we were looking at. If you remember that in 2010, we had the slogan, 10 minutes, 10 questions. But the American Community Survey is the data that is being collected now. So Wichita can get their updated information on an annual basis, but it is considered a part of the decennial census. That's what the ACS used to be, the long form, and it is all of the information that we collect.
How long does that journey take? That take a lot of questions there.
We have a lot of questions, so it averages. Again, the long form sometimes would have taken you maybe 2 or 3 hours to complete, I'm told. So now you only have 10 questions for the decennial, but with the American Community Survey, it might take you an hour and a half to 2 hours. There are a lot of questions, and every question asked is cleared by Congress, and every question does have a specific purpose for it. So, yeah, we do. I know, we nosy.
Thank you for coming. How will the 2020 census be different in terms of how it's compiled and how it's performed and how data becomes available than, say, the 2010 census was conducted?
The 2020 decennial census, again, is going to be done via computer. So the data, when I come back and see you after the 2020 census is over, I'm going to be able, and we are consistently upgrading and downloading new programs and new ways to give you data. But we will continue to download statistically the numbers that you need. We will increase the information as it becomes available. But again, when you get your letter and you get your code on that envelope, please use it. We need you to participate because we need to make sure, I want to make sure that Wichita gets all the money that it's supposed to get.
Right now is the census on businesses that's coming out, and like you mentioned, it's online. It alludes that it is the law that you fill it out. I wondered how many prosecutions you have each year on those that aren't filled out.
I'm gonna hug you after this, okay? Yes, there is a penalty, and the most that I can tell you is that it is by law, but it is discretionary on a case-by-case basis as to whether or not they actually prosecute. But it is, there are surveys that are mandatory, and then there are surveys that are not. So, okay.
Ms. Toni
Thank you.
Pitchford, Thank you.